Hello Booktube, I'm Marilyn Maya, and thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I'm so excited for this video. This is my recommendations video for March Mystery Madness. I'm one of the co-hosts, and I have to say that all these books have been tried out or I'm reading right now and I'm liking. So let's get to it. First, for your consideration, Josephine Tay. Now, Josephine Tay is a very interesting writer. She didn't follow, though she's a contemporary of Agatha Christie, she didn't follow the typical fair play kind of mysteries that Golden Age really did. But she's such a fascinating writer, and I wanted to show you 3 books. I'm not going to talk about all of them too much, but of the favorites that I've read, I buddy read this with Nikki from Red Dot Reads, and we had a wonderful time, and her information will be down below. Please check her out. She's a wonderful booktuber and a good friend. And this is my favorite Josephine Tay. It's Brat Farrar. And I bought these all new, and I bought these all with these beautiful covers on. And if you see this one, Brat Farrar, it's 2 twin-like people, and it's a standalone. It's not. This is not the Alan Grant mysteries, and it was so much fun, and it was a great mystery. So, in this surprising tale of mystery and suspense, a stranger enters the inner sanctum of the Ashby family, posing as Patrick Ashby, the heir to the family sizable fortune. The stranger, Brat Farrar, has been carefully coached on Patrick's mannerisms, appearance, and every significant detail of Patrick's early life up to his 13th year when he disappeared and was thought to have drowned himself. This is not what you expect. It's a sweeping family drama as well as a mystery, and you're going to be wonderfully engrossed with it. So that's Brat Farrar. Not as good, but serviceable and different is A Shilling for Candles, and by Josephine Tay. When a woman's body washes up on an isolated stretch of beach on the southern coast of England, Scotland Yard's Inspector Alan Grant is on the scene. But the inquiry into her death turns into a nightmare of false leads and baffling clues. Was there anyone who didn't want lovely screen actress Christine Clay dead? So this is the basis of an Alfred Hitchcock mystery, Young and Innocent. And have you seen that? If you've seen that mystery, let me know. The fascinating mystery displays all of Tay's warmth and charm and sympathy and insight. And it was good. It was really good. And the last one is The Franchise Affair. And all these covers are so wonderful. So it's also an Alan Grant mystery, and he returns in one of Tay's finest mysteries. Robert Blair was about to knock off from a slow day at the law firm when the phone rang. It was Marion Sharp on the phone, a local woman of quiet disposition who lived with her mother at their decrepit country house. Isn't there always a decrepit country house? The franchise. It appeared that she was in some serious trouble. Miss Sharp and her mother were accused of brutally kidnapping a demure young woman named Betty Kane, and she was a housekeeper. So, yeah, a lot of fun. So, have you tried Josephine Tay? She writes delightful and different kinds of mysteries. So, I think you should check her out. Next is Patricia Wentworth and the Miss Silver mysteries. In my last video, I talked about how I didn't care for the mysteries that I was reading by Patricia Wentworth, but I didn't want to leave the impression that I didn't like all of Patricia Wentworth's mystery. I love Miss Silver. Now, Miss Silver was a former governess, and she's an avid knitter. So when she's knitting, she's also listening. And she plays a part well, she actually solves the mystery with two of her cohorts, one from Scotland Yard and Frank Abbott, who is almost like her nephew. I love her. I love when she's in it more than just a little bit in the beginning and the end, like I said last time. But these are ones that I thought were really, really good. And this one I bought, and it's not in very good condition, but the mystery was great. And it's called She Came Back. So Aunt Jocelyn came back from the dead. Her husband Philip says he carried her all the way off the beach at Breton, shot in the head by a German bullet, and he buried her in a Holt churchyard. Now with the war almost over, the bombing stopped, her return explodes the quiet life at Jocelyn's Holt. She wants her husband and her fortune back, and she'll get them if she is really Aunt Jocelyn. This was really a lot of fun and exciting, and Miss Silver was in it a lot. One of my favorite Miss Silver mysteries that I read in the last 2 years, and I think Janelle told me, Janelle from Too Fond of Books, that she also liked this, and this is called The Listening Eye. And here's this middle-aged woman, and Miss Silver paid close attention to the strange tale of sensible middle-aged Miss Paulina Payne. Though totally deaf, Miss Payne could lip read so well that strangers never suspected her handicap. Well, we don't like to use handicap anymore, but or guessed that she could eavesdrop with uncanny accuracy. She had been, she told Miss Silver, on the far side of a spacious art gallery, but her listening eye was not mistaken. She distinctly heard two men planning both a theft and a murder. This is well worth it, and I really recommend you this book. Now, this one, I have to admit, I haven't read yet, but I did a lot of, I bought it, so that means I did a lot of research on it. And it says, Miss Silver gives you your money's worth of deducing in this well-knit puzzle of love and double murder. So I was talking about Sergeant Frank Abbott. He's visiting his family in the village of Deeping when the young Mary Stokes reports that she has just witnessed a brutal murder. Though the police race to the scene, a wooded area known locally as the Dead Man's Copse, they can find no body. So that's all I'll say about this, because I haven't read it, but I did a lot of research, and it's one of people's favorite. So I'll say, yeah, read The Eternity. The Eternity Ring, because it was one of the favorites that people liked about the Miss Silver mysteries. And this is another one that I did read, and I loved. It's Lady's Bane, also the name of a house. And the best thing about this book is the unearthly opening scene in a London fog, and it sets a fine mood of evil in the everyday, which is well sustained. So if you're interested in really, being in that London fog, was very scary, and it really set the scene for a wonderful mystery. So immediately on her arrival at Lady's Bane, Ione Moore realizes that all is not right with her newly married sister, Allegra. The town of Bleak is charming, but the medieval manor itself, known by a sinister local legend as Lady's Bane, is full of gloomy depths and twisting staircases. And I found this really fascinating, because she knows something's wrong with her sister, and not trusting her brother-in-law too much. So yes, read it. It's wonderful. One that I'm not that sure of, because I took it out of the library, but I thought I would add it, is The Key. It did get a good review. Michael Hirsch's long years of work are nearly over. The following day, he's looking forward to handing over his precious formula to the government. But the next morning, he is found dead in what looks to be a suicide. He is discovered in the church with the door locked and the key in his pocket. Of course, the rector has a key, as do the sexton and the organist. But those are all accounted for. Nevertheless, Miss Silver knows that it is murder. So doesn't it sound good? It sounds so good. And I have to say, Patricia Wentworth's books, she really has a lot of Miss Silver books and other books of more of romantic mystery suspense. And there's always a little romance in her books. So if you like romance, and if you like a Miss Agatha type, Miss Marple type of a mystery, you might like these Miss Silver mysteries. But like I said, I found some mistakes in some of them, really plot holes, and some were wonderful. So, and there's our daily rooster. I should say our hourly rooster. So that's Patricia Wentworth. And now I'll go into something a little more grittier. Now, the Miss Silver mysteries were considered cozy. I would say they're at the grittier side of cozy. But yeah, I think they could still be called cozy if you think Miss Marple is cozy. I really don't think Miss Marple and Agatha Christie wrote cozy mysteries. They're more of the golden age, and some of them are pretty dark. But anyway, now we're getting to the real darkness. So for your consideration, Ruth Rendell, or Rendell. And I have two here. One that I read and I was looking for. It's the first Ruth Rendell book. And it's called From Doon with Death. This is scary. And not only is it scary and well written, but it has like a 60s vibe in it, like an early 60s vibe that I really appreciated. So all I'm going to say about it is, why would anyone want to strangle dear Mrs. Parsons? What strange, tormented passion ended in a prim, proper, and happily married woman being murdered in a dark and tangled wood? Why was a gaudy woman's garish tube of lipstick found near the body? Who was Doon, the writer of mysterious love letters to Mrs. Parsons? I loved this, and it was the beginning of her detective Wexford, and his partner, who I can't remember what his name was, but someone mentioned when I did a live with Janelle last week in our kickoff for March Mystery Madness that there wasn't much of, was the characters going to get better? Because this was her first book. And yes, I believe so. I believe that even though I got the sense of Lieutenant Wexford right away, and I liked him, and I liked his partner. So, yeah, Ruth Rendell, I've been reading her for years. And if you like the grittier side of mysteries, yes, read this one. I haven't read this one yet, but I can recommend it because a good friend of mine told me if I like Ruth Rendell, I do. This is called Not in the Flesh, a Wexford novel. And so what it says about it, when the truffle hunting dog, I love that already, truffle hunting dogs, starts to dig furiously, his master's first reaction is delight at the size of the clump the dog has unearthed. At the going rate, this one truffle might be worth several £100. Then the dirt falls away to reveal not a precious mushroom, but the bones and tendons of what is clearly a human hand. Ooh. In Not in the Flesh, Chief Inspector Wexford tries to piece together events that took place 11 years earlier, a time when someone was secretly interred in a secluded patch of English countryside. Now Wexford and his team will need to interrogate everyone who lives nearby to see if they can turn up a match for the dead man among the 85 people in this part of England who have disappeared over the past decade. So I love her writing. If you like gritty mysteries, I don't think they're dark and they're gritty, but they're not overly, if you're that sensitive, because, I'm a little bit scared of some mysteries. So that's all I have for that writer, but I wanted to talk about what I'm reading right now, and that's The Private Patient by P.D. James. And don't be afraid of this book. It's a large print. because I always appreciate a large print book, so it's not as dense as it seems. P.D. James is a very good writer, and this book I'm liking. I already read it. It's about, so the private patient, her name is Rhoda, and she has a scar from a traumatic incident. And this is already in the first few pages. And she decides to get the scar removed. And she becomes the private patient of this manor house, a private clinic belonging to a famous plastic surgeon, George Chandler Powell. When investigative journalists, so she's a journalist already, arrived there one late autumn afternoon, she has every expectation of a successful operation and a pleasant week recuperating. 2 days later, I don't even want to say what happens 2 days later because I think it's a little bit of a spoiler. I mean, even though it's right in the beginning of the book. But the only thing I didn't like about the book so far, I love the writing, I love the story, but I started getting too interested in the first character. And, well, I don't think something good is going to happen, in my opinion. So at the last thing, I wanted to do something a little special. And I know that I had ordered a mystery for a long time ago for March Mystery Madness. You know, I knew I was going to be a co-host. And I wanted to be, I can't remember what happened yesterday sometimes. So do you think I can remember what I ordered? I just know it was a mystery because I put it in my mystery pile and I just now snipped it with the scissors. So let's see what I have. Oh, it's Patricia Wentworth. All right. It's the Chinese Shawl. And this is supposed to be one of her best mysteries of Miss Silver mysteries. Miss Silver has her place in detective fiction as surely as Lord Peter Wimsey or Hercule Poirot. So Tanis Lyle was one of those passionate women who always get their own way. Her cousin Laura hated her. Most women did, but men found her irresistibly and she used them mercilessly. So when Tanis was found murdered, there seems to be any number of suspects on hand. But Miss Silver had her own suspicions. Oh, I'm going to love this. This is on my definite to read this month. So those are my recommendations from, some of them are from my shelf, and one of them was from Awesome Books. So I hope that you find something that you like in this recommendations video. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let's chat. And like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in another March Mystery Madness video and also other videos that I have planned this month. So until we meet again, my friends, I wish you all well and aloha oi.